Hello, everybody, and welcome. You are in the No Hype Zone. I am Seth.
This is Lance.
And we are in episode 69. That's a lot of episodes so far, which is pretty sweet. This has been spanning, what, 3 years now?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty crazy, man.
Yes, sir. We're the original kNOW. A lot of people are trying to take it, but we are the official. We are the originators.
Yes.
Do you want to expand into a discussion of knowing mercy, kNOW, mercy? I'm jealous of that name. I said that when you came on.
I was going to say, Lance, you keep finding, often imitators of the show, and one day we'll get our royalties.
Yes, sir. I keep trying to tell you, they're watching us. They're watching us.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, let's get it going. It's been a little while, guys, but let's start with this is NFL week 7, right? We're on week 7, if I'm not mistaken, week 8.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to address is the AFC West. There was a lot of hype going into the AFC West this year, but yet they have basically been a dud except for the Chiefs.
I
mean, so much hype. I mean, with let Russ cook going into Denver. In my no hype opinion is that he just needs some more time with the offensive coordinator, and what was it? Hackett is their new head coach. He may not be a really good number one guy, as a head coach, but he's probably a brilliant offensive coordinator, but they just need more time to gel. I mean, you think that Russell Wilson and the squad would have, be clicking by now, but I see they won in London today. But
because he worked out on the plane for 4 hours, a 6-hour trip doing high knees. It's only you would have to be Russell Wilson to do that, because if anybody else did that, you'd be calling for security on the plane, right? Or like, who is the dude running through this plane? But
dude, did you hear what he said? He was like, the first 2 hours I watched game film. The next 4 hours I was working out on the plane. The next hour I was asleep. Like, really, dude? You're working out for 4 hours on a plane?
And then for the next 4 hours, I was doing treatment on the plane. I was walking up and down the aisles. Everybody was knocked out. I was doing high knees and working on my legs. And
really, dude? You're working out for 4 hours on a plane? I mean,
dude, no hype.
Man. Go ahead.
I was going to say no hype. When you got players that just lose and they act nonchalant about losing, you don't see them trying to put no effort in, you can't respect them. You got Russell Wilson is probably no hype playing the worst. I don't know if he's playing the worst ball ever, but he's making a lot of mistakes that he didn't make in Seattle. Right. And again, it could be a effect from game 1 when he didn't get a chance to cook and they decided to go with the field goal and everything got blocked on that moment. And then it's just been downhill since then. But to hear players say, okay, I'm going to this game, and while everybody else is sleeping, I'm running, I'm working out, I'm watching game film, I'm doing everything I can do to get better. If I'm a Broncos fan, no hype, that makes me happy, and the proof is in the pudding. He squeaked out one today. I don't know how good he played because I wasn't up that early.
Right.
But, they pulled a W.
And they scored more than 15 points for the second time, I think, this year. So something.
Yeah.
And then as for the Raiders, I don't want to, I love you, Lance. I don't want to harp on the Raiders or anything like that, but like just a giant dud. I don't know if no one's clicking right or, I couldn't even tell you what's going on in that locker room or anything, man. Because 0 points today? I literally have no answer. I have no answer as a
I got an answer.
Raiders. Go ahead.
I got an answer. We just talked about it. Devontae Adams started doing Taco Bell commercials. You know me. I'm in my hype right now. That's why I'm the hype dude. He started doing Taco Bell commercials. Yeah. All players who all of a sudden starts being in their hype before they do anything, they start falling. I know players that's are accomplished and they play a little bit consistent, and then as soon as they start trash talking or they on every commercial, you start seeing them fall off. It's only been
like Baker Mayfield.
Great. Oh man, he did. They made fun of the fact that sorry about that. They made fun of the fact that he did so many progressive commercials. But the truth is this: he went to Carolina, and they'd rather play their third string quarterback than play any Donald and Baker. I don't know if Donald is still there. I don't know the situation Carolina. All I know is the little bit of the game I watched today. Yeah, just like you just said, it's just the commercials. You know, it's hard to prove that, so it's all hype that I'm saying. But I just think going back to what we were saying about the Raiders really haven't did anything to upgrade. I don't see a difference in Carr. I don't see a difference in what's Josh McDaniels, the way that he's calling plays over there. He's doing the same thing that got him fired the previous 2 times in the league. And that's hype. I'm saying that my hype, but no hype is you see the record right now. So
yeah, and the Belichick tree, speaking of McDaniels, isn't really up to snuff, really. You know, you have the dude from Detroit went there, a whole lot of nothing. You got Joe Judge went to the Giants, whole lot of nothing. Now you got McDaniels. This is, round 2. So dang. Maybe that Belichick, way of coaching is really, really unique to him, and it's hard to emulate that. So who knows, man?
Hey, we talk about systems. Just like for players, you become successful playing in the system. Some coaches only are successful in certain systems. Now, that's not happening back for Patricia. I think the problem is you put Patricia as what is he, an offensive coordinator now?
Hey, he's supposed to be a defensive guy. Now he's playing coordinator duties with the number.
Right,
guy.
right.
Yeah.
So New England looks like somebody that's going through some type of confusion right now.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So next we got Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are going through a little bit of a rough patch in their career. I saw this stat that Tom Brady is 2 games under 500 for the first time in his career. Think about that, everybody, for a second. Think about that. That is mind blowing. And this guy's 22nd, 23rd. I have no idea what season he's in. 20th season. That is insane. So I think they'll get it together. It's Tom Brady. You can't hold this guy down for too long. He's too much of a baller and a gamer, in my opinion, for him to, just lay over. So hopefully he can get himself together. But Aaron, on the other hand, in my no hype, he is pointing fingers at everybody else and not himself. Like, come on, man, you got to get better too here, buddy. So there's my no hype on that.
Well, it's like a great rap group that split up. We always use the phrase of EPMD and some of the other groups that in the 90s that just split up. And neither one of the guys became successful. They were good, but they wasn't successful. Well, Aaron Rodgers splits from Devontae Adams. Both of them is having a terrible season. Brady, you want to give him some grace, but the problem is that Brady should have never came back this season. So for what he's and it's all hype to me, saying that what he's dealing with, because we don't talk about people's personal situations, but what he's dealing with might be a ripple effect from his decisions to come back, and then for him to come back. I don't know. I like Todd Bowles. I'm never saying somebody shouldn't be there. Especially when the league doesn't have that many African-American coaches. But Todd Bowles hasn't done anything as a head coach. Right. So you bring a GOAT back in a situation with a guy that's not proven. And this is, again, another result. Uncle Bruce should have stayed if Tom Brady's coming back. Both of them should have came back. Or they both ride off into the sunset like Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan in The Last Dance and go about their own way. That's just what you got to do when you're a great tandem.
Yep.
Like you and I.
I can't disagree with you on that one, man. So, but hopefully they figure it out. I used to be a Tom hater, but you know what? I respect the guy, and he's a gamer on top of it. He wants nothing more than to win. He's a competitor, so you got to respect that. So we're not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just like you and I. We go somewhere. It's a problem. I'm not gonna criticize on you. Right. I don't know if you criticize me, but it don't matter.
Always.
I catch. You toss the ball.
Yeah.
We make a beautiful tag team.
Yeah, I love it. All right, who do you got for? I guess you could probably almost call it a midseason MVP right now.
Your boy Josh. No hype. Josh hype.
Sure.
Lamar.
Well,
maybe.
Lamar's had a couple of down games here. I mean, their record doesn't reflect his play, unfortunately. Because I remember against the Giants game last week, he had a pick and a fumble at the end of the game. They were up. They've been up by double digits in basically every single game, but they've only won. They're only like at 500 right now. So I can't really give it to Lamar. You got to give it to Patrick Mahomes. He's doing, outstanding right now, as always. And it's funny because last year he was like third in QBR and like second in touchdowns. And like, oh, you had a horrible year. Like, what the heck? Really, dude? Like, come on.
So
what does this guy have to do? You know,
yeah. I mean, when you make people better around you, no hype. You definitely got to be considered for the MVP. And that was mainly why I brought up Lamar Jackson, because I know the record doesn't reflect what how he's playing to me. I don't like he's lost some games, but still you can see him like cultivating the team around him, and he doesn't even have a contract. So for him to be out there balling that way, that's no hype. For him to be out there balling, I just think that you got to take that into consideration. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. I think that just Patrick Mahomes right there. He's definitely no hype, the MVP right now.
And so, and just to piggyback off of the Lamar, he's 3-3 or 4-3 or whatever, because they just beat Tampa Bay the other night. So you could say, hey, well then what about Jalen Hurts? They're 6-0, 7-0. But has he really done much to be like, hey, an MVP kind of guy? Is he MVP talk only because they're undefeated? I mean, what if they had 1 or 2 losses? Would you still be like, oh yeah, not Jalen? That's the thing. It's so hard because records kind of don't reflect the play per se, necessarily. So that's when you have to go to stats, and there's some stats that you can't. There are no stats for the intangibles, like how much heart do you have. What do you say in the huddle to, get guys, get motivated to, make the next play, I guess. So it's kind of hard to, I mean, is Jalen really a number one guy? I mean, is he a go-getter?
Yes.
In the huddle? I mean, I don't know. I've never seen him really,
Yes, and yes.
Talk a lot.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, I understand height-wise.
Yeah,
the poke that you
that
gave
was a lot of hype right there. 100% hype.
I know, because you gave that poke to all our Philly brethren, such as a BZ. I know you don't. So that's what I'm saying. I can feel that poke because Jalen is definitely. I mean, the people that doesn't have like me who wear glasses, without the glasses, you can still be able to see that Jalen Hurts, from what he had to go through last year, no hype. They couldn't even pick a starting quarterback. His coach had literally played so many mind games with him, not knowing that this kid's background is all about overcoming the odds and overcoming situations when you tell him that he can't, or there's only a slight chance that you're going to succeed. And what he did with Oklahoma, what he did with Alabama, what he did with Oklahoma, and taking over the position in Philly, it's going behind what happened with Wentz. And this year, to be the type of team that they are, they're a juggernaut in the NFL. You can't touch them. You can't touch them right now. So, yes, Patrick Mahomes is all of that and everything else, no hype. But Jalen Hurts, no hype, is the MVP of the league as long as they continue to play the way they're playing now. Okay. And that's still – and we feel the same way about getting into BZ. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see his blood pressure go up just a little bit. But,
Yeah, agreed. All right, so I like it, man. I like it. I don't think a lot of people are talking about Jalen Hurts as being an MVP kind of guy, so I'm glad that we have, circled that one there. So I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to my favorite sport, college football. I could spend, an hour talking about this, but we'll keep it short and sweet here. Yeah. Fan portal on that one.
Yes, sir. Fan portal. We jumping through the portal, going through our favorite teams. I know you're a crazy. I know you're a crazy. What is that? Crazy nuts. Yeah, that's right. Crazy nut. Yeah, you're a crazy nut. But you like other teams.
I'm very proud of myself because I feel like I can have some objectivity when it comes to these, college football subjects here. For example, I want to start out with. I know we talk Heisman in our prep, but I want to talk about, there's 4 teams that have to make it to the playoffs. They're about to announce on Tuesday the top 25 or the committee's top 25, concluding with their top 4. And in my opinion, I think that Tennessee should be the number 1 team. I don't know why this is so much of a debate for people. I have an issue. Yes, I have an issue. For example, you have Georgia as a preseason number 1 team, right? And then Tennessee wasn't even in the top 25, but then they had to work their way all the way up. And because of that, they have to fight so much harder to, get to that number 1 spot. When they actually played better, have a much better offense. Granted, their defense is like 129th in the country, but still, they're not getting a lot of love. I think Tennessee should be the number 1 team. I think Georgia should be the number 2 team. Ohio State should be 3, and then Michigan should be 4. And I think TCU is on the outside looking in, even though they need more love, because actually, think about it, TCU has played a better schedule than Ohio State and Michigan. But if you put both those on a neutral field, I think Ohio State and Michigan would be favored, in my opinion. And then you've got you got one loss Alabama, who actually hasn't looked all like the Alabama, like, ooh, like I'm scared of Alabama. Like, no,
another commercial, NIL deal, all of that stuff. Again, go ahead, keep your flow going.
Yeah, right. And then USC and Oregon are forces to be reckoned with as well in the Pac-12. So that kind of ties in, or I would segue into, what if we have 6 or 7 teams that are viable for those top 4 spots? So who gets left in and who gets left out? I really think if the trend keeps going the way that it does without any chaos, even though I'm rooting for chaos in the or not the Big Ten, or in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'd love to see, TCU kind of get in there, or like TCU fans be like, hey man, we're undefeated. What the heck? Because now they're on the outside looking in. I'd love to see USC and Oregon fans, especially Oregon. They've played so well the last 2 weeks. Like, how do you knock? Like, you can't knock them. Just like Ohio State in 2014 had a bad loss at the beginning of the year and fought their way all the way back to get that number 4 spot. So you got to give them some kind of credit. We can't just be like, all right, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State every year. Like, even me saying Ohio State every year. Come on, man, give other people some love.
Okay, so is that your no hype?
That is my no hype. That's my no hype. My all hype is Ohio State, and then there's everybody else.
I got you. That's what I thought you was going to say, from Crazy Nut Town.
Yeah. Ohio State, big gap, everybody else. But we know that's not true.
So I know college football is your favorite sport, but, I'm a in the closet Trojan man, and I mean that for real. Right. I've always loved those guys. But I don't see them in the playoffs now. But it's almost like, if I don't see them in the playoffs, I don't know if I want to still watch the playoffs, because Caleb is so electrifying that it's almost like watching NBA playoffs without a LeBron or a KD or somebody that that's going to put on the show. With that being said, Georgia's still the number 1 team, brother. That whole soliloquy was beautiful about Tennessee coming back. Yeah, they had the huge win against Alabama, and the crazy guys decided to throw the goalpost into the water, and for $100,000. That is crazy. And
they have 4 top 25 wins. Keep going.
Got you. But the biggest fish, Moby Dick of the whole thing is Alabama. So then that's no hype. Because of Alabama, everybody's like, you got my attention now. You've been screaming, but I really hear you now.
But they just beat Kentucky yesterday, another ranked team.
But Kentucky is a team that's not proven. Kentucky is a team that came up. They're a basketball school. They came up in the rankings. People in the SEC or locally have been following them and watching them improve, but they have not been that major statue, that eighth wonder of the world type. Alabama, and when you think Alabama, you think championship football. When you think of Georgia, you think championship football. So with that being said, Tennessee, as sexy as they've been playing, Georgia is still number 1. Georgia didn't do anything to lose their number 1 ranking. All they did was win. Yeah, they had a few tough games, but they T-Pain where they at right now. So with that, I'm putting them first. They didn't do anything to hurt that. I'm going to go ahead and put in, I'm not saying 2, 3, 4 is in ranking right here, but I'm going to definitely say Ohio State has to be in it. Can you imagine a playoff without them Buckeyes in there? You crazy. They look good. They playing good. The world is used to seeing them play, just like you're used to seeing LeBron in the finals. And when he's not there, it's a problem. 3, I'm going to tell you that if you're going to go with Michigan, I like Kansas State. Kansas State, if you give me Alvarez or you give me, I don't care.
Kansas State has 2 losses.
Okay.
They lost to Tulane, and they lost to somebody else like 2 weeks ago, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, they lost. I think they lost TCU. Did they lose TCU?
Okay, that's what. Yeah, that's what. Yep.
Okay,
so they destroyed yesterday. Oh my God, they raped Oklahoma State. Like
with the second quarterback, they killed Oklahoma State, them Cowboys. Yep. So this is with the backup quarterback. So can you imagine the number 1 quarterback? So Alvarez. So my point is this: playoffs, it needs to be expanded, because you got to have somebody like TCU, K-State, USC. Yep. in your playoff. because Oregon, you cannot lead them out for the Blue Bloods because you want to see the upset. And that's going to cause so much mayhem that the college football playoffs, why somebody steal this. This is going to be the next big topic.
Yep.
But listen to how I phrase it. That's going to be as exciting as college basketball. It's because you got them guys in there who shouldn't be, but they're excited enough to track the whole world, and people would jump on those schools. They may not even been to Texas before. All of a sudden, they TCU fans or they K State fans because they see the Davis going up against the Goliaths. So that's no hype. But 3 and 4, I don't want to see Michigan in there. Michigan been winning.
One-dimensional, so one-dimensional.
Right. Yep. TCU definitely no hype should be, to me. I don't care. Record, right? I don't think they lost. They should be in there. And then, I know Michigan is undefeated and people want to do it for Harbaugh, but they don't look like they're that team yet. I think that we still got enough time to kind of wing out the 4. I'll be able to, next time we do the show, I'll be able to have the 4 for you because we'll be able to have more information.
Well, it's making the game in 26 days from now. 27 days from now, pretty awesome when Ohio State plays Michigan. So we'll see how that rolls. Let's go real quick. Who are your Heisman? Yeah. I'll start with my Heisman people. And this is all no hype. I can go hype and say CJ Stroud, but
do what you feel.
I'm going Caleb Williams. I'm going Hendon Hooker. I'm going Max Duggan, the QB from TCU. I think CJ Stroud is 4th. This is in my personal Heisman runnings. You got Bryce Young at 5. And you got Blake Corum at 6. Those are my Heisman 1, 2, 3 right there.
Okay, I'm not even gonna go outside of that. No hype. I want to see Caleb. Okay, I guess that's hype. Hype. I want to see Caleb and everybody else. You go away. I don't know how I turned into a Lincoln Riley, Caleb Jackson fan so bad. I mean, people in Oklahoma got to be upset about that, which they are. So, but with that being said, Caleb should be number 1. No hype. Number 2, Duggan, and number 3, Hooker. Hooker is right there on the wings. Now, depending on what happens in the next couple of weeks for Tennessee, put him up there. But and TCU. So it's really anybody's Heisman. It's kind of fun.
And I agree with that as well. It is anybody's Heisman. We shouldn't rank or whatever like that, even though we are ranking them. Like, you're right. It is anybody's Heisman at this point. There is no clear-cut winner at all. So that's what makes this race kind of fun to see who gets the Heisman.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay, I mean, it's beautiful. I love college football right now. So,
we got 7 minutes left, Lance, which means you have 7 minutes to give us your NBA breakdown. I know the season is young, but fire away, my friend.
Hey, I don't even need 7 minutes. I'll give you 7 seconds. This is pretty much what the NBA is so young that it's hard to say anything. The obvious is right now. The Lakers not playing good. You don't know if it's the glass is half full or half empty because you got a new situation with Westbrook coming off the bench. And I don't know why the Lakers are leading off because my hype is always the Lakers. Everybody know I'm Lakers. And then it's a double sword because Westbrook is on there. So I'm going to go ahead and not give them anything else because they don't deserve to get anything else. They haven't won. Kings upset. Boom. Clippers is not playing up to par.
Is Kawhi hurt again?
Yeah, he's been in and out. And the Nets are as good as the best player on the team is Kyrie Irving. Everybody else is not playing nowhere near the way you kind of expect them to play. The Celtics has been quietly good. They lost, I think, 1 or 2 games, but they've been quietly good. They definitely should be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Without the coach that they had, and they got a new coach now, he's just as intense and as creative as Odeko or the previous coach. I can't really pronounce his name. Memphis is outstanding. Ja Morant is just scary because he plays so fearless that if you don't want to see him go down. If he goes down, he's the real engine of the team. The team is a well-built machine, but they definitely need him to keep going. The scary team really to watch out for is New Orleans. When you say fearless play, you got the same type of play in Zion. But in Zion, it looks prime. He is smaller, more agile, more explosive, more dynamic.
Zion's
got hurt again. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. So if you can keep them 2 healthy, New Orleans and Memphis is definitely going to be eye candy for everybody to see. They're the best two. I mean, like I said, eye candy. I'm not saying they're the best team. They're eye candy. The team to really watch out for again is Milwaukee. Giannis has came off of a heck of a summer playing ball and doing movies, and you can see he's in that full. If you ever watch a karate movie, he's that dude that's lighting up. Like everything around him is starting to get. Like he got that glow. It's like everything on him is just and so he's scoring at will. He's defending everybody. He's back playing like an MVP. Milwaukee is probably the scariest team in the NBA, period, right now. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody else, Knicks has been playing good. But again, and Portland, Dame Dollar is back. But everybody else it's too early to really start, going into arguments. And that's no hype. It's about what's going on, because the Lakers in the next 10 games can turn that around and everybody will be saying, okay, but Westbrook coming off the bench is the greatest thing that ever happened in the Lakers. So let's just give it some time with the NBA. And that's just a preview. Shouts out, I'm still crazy about Minnesota. They're not playing the way they're supposed to play, but my favorite player, Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, who was my new favorite player. He's my new favorite player, and he's magnificent. And I don't like the way Cat tried to throw him under the bus the other day, talking about he need to change his diet. But that boy is going. He is magnificent, and they need to play better. They need to play better, and they're going to be scary coming out of the West. So the West is going to be loaded, and the East is going to be loaded. That's me dropping the mic on the basketball. No hype.
Like it. And we're going to hear more about the NBA, especially probably after Christmas when people start tuning in a little bit more. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, that's the show for today. Tell us what you think. If you guys out there have any topics that you want us to talk about or discuss, hype and no hype about, just let us know. Otherwise, we will see you next time.
Hey, you didn't say nothing about Houston and the Phillies, but I know that's
shoot. There's only 3
I know it's true. All right, I'm just saying that
watch baseball.
Not like it bothers to me. I'm in Heartbreak City because of them Dodgers. Yeah. So it's gonna be a long winter for me, but it's cool. So anyway, that's it. Hey, I like to finish closing. Thanks for watching the show, guys.
Yes, thank you. See you guys next time. All right.
Yes, sir. No hype.